Hello guys and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring the one and only Nightmare Freddy Krueger. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let us put Nightmare Freddy Krueger to the test. Perhaps to some of you it will come as a surprise, but Nightmare Freddy Krueger, alongside with his comrades in the Nightmare team, were not original diamonds, they were gold, but in Update 2.0 they were all promoted to diamonds, and Freddy is not an exception. His original price in the old store, by the way, was 450 souls. So let us check whether he's worth that price. His attack is 65,205, which is the 5th highest in MK Mobile. The hit points, they're 121,882 and they rank 8. The toughness is 52,164, the 7th highest overall, and the recovery is 49,896, which is the 9th highest in MK Mobile. And the power generation is very good, it is 120%. So for his stats, Nightmare Freddy gets 23.2 out of 28 possible points. It is a common misconception in MK Mobile, guys, that if you're playing Freddy Krueger, then definitely need to use his special too, because his special one is not that great. However, in the next few seconds I'm going to prove that this is not the case.
The pain seems to follow like a shadow dark and cold to the touch.
So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I certainly did. Long story short, this ability is by far the deadliest special one in the game. All you have to do is time your tagging attack, make sure that the enemy won't block it, and then immediately use your special one. Thus, you're making sure that first, the enemy won't block your special ability, and second, in 90% of the cases the enemy will straight ahead die. Anyways, let's get more specific. Special 1 of Freddy, guys, can be completely blocked by the opponent, but as we already explained, as long as you use it after a successful tagging attack, you'll be perfectly fine, the enemy will never block it. In addition, the ability has Snare as debuff, which is incredible. It can be cast from distance, however one of the mini hits will miss, so in a way you're going to lose 50% of the damage. It is lethal, it consists of 2 mini attacks, and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 21,517, which is the 7th highest in the game, and the maximum damage is 43,035, the 8th highest in MK Mobile. Once again, the special attack can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has Snare as debuff, it can be cast from distance, however half of the damage will be lost. It is lethal, it consists of 2 mini attacks, and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. So for his special one, Nightmare Freddy gets the incredible 10.8 out of 13 possible points. Similar to the special 2 of Nightmare Jason, guys, here again we have special attack full of Easter eggs. And the first one is that if you score less than 50% on Special 2 Freddy minigame, then the special attack will have just 1 mini hit. However, if you score between 50 and 80, then the special attack will have 2 mini hits. And if you score more than 80, the special attack will have 3 mini hits, and of course, if you are good enough to score 90 or even 100% on the bubbles minigame, then the special ability will be unblockable as well. Not only that, but actually the mini hits can be transferred to the targeting opponent. So in a way, you can kill an enemy using, let's say, the first mini attack of your special 2, and then you can kill the next enemy targeting using your second and the third mini hit of your special attack respectively. But enough about the Easter eggs, guys, because it is time to get specific. Special 2 of Freddy can be completely blocked by the opponent, but we are going to reward some points here because of the fact that if you score more than 90% of its minigame, it becomes unblockable. In addition, the special attack has Shield as buff, one of the best buffs in the game. It can be cast from literally anywhere in the map, you shouldn't be worried when casting it from distance. It is lethal, it consists of up to 3 mini hits, and it has the bubbles as minigame. Unfortunately for me, this is my worst minigame in MK Mobile, but if you are good at this minigame, guys, then definitely Freddy is your character, and his special 2 is the way to go. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 53,794, which is the 5th highest in the game, and the maximum damage is 107,588, which ranks again 5th. Once again, the special attack can be completely blocked by the opponent, but at some point it can get unblockable as long as you're good at its minigame. It has Shield as buff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 3 mini hits, and it has the bubbles as mini game. Long story short, this is probably the most devastating special attack in the game because it can literally kill 2 full HP enemies. So for his special 2, Freddy will get 14.8 out of 19 possible points. Okay guys, after we reviewed his special 1 and special 2, it is time to take a look at Freddy's X-Ray. Honestly, there isn't a lot I can say about it. It looks pretty good. In addition, it can be cast from distance, and of course it has fire as debuff, which is kind of disappointing for an X-Ray. When it comes to damage, the damage of the ability is 129,105, which ranks 7th in the game. And let's repeat the properties once again. The ability has fire as debuff and it can be cast from distance. So for his X-Ray, Freddy is going to get 3.7 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points he gets for his special attacks adds up to the incredible 29.3 out of 36 possible points. And here we go, we got to the basic attacks, so in other words, we reached the Achilles heel of Nightmare Freddy. Yes, he really has bad basic attacks, guys. I would say that without Block Breaker, it is really hard to keep him fighting. You have to tag him out or you have to keep blocking until you get the opportunity to strike back. Long story short, the speed of his basic attacks is not really great, and his chaining is also pretty bad. He doesn't push opponents back, and he has pretty slow recovery speed as well. So you shouldn't really rely on his basic attacks when you play Freddy. To be honest, if he had good basic attacks, he'll be definitely the greatest, the best character in the game. Anyways, nobody is perfect and Freddy is not an exception. Quite honestly, his basic attacks are not impressive at all, so he's going to get just 6 out of 10 possible points. One, two, Freddy's coming for you. This is the name of Freddy's passive, and here it is what it does. I quote: one of Freddy's opponents is trapped in a nightmare. Freddy has a 50% chance for lethal damage to that opponent, which is 300% of the regular damage. If Freddy Krueger has 2 nightmare teammates, he can trap an additional opponent in the nightmare. Nightmare teammates gain a 10% critical hit chance on basic attacks. Now, I'm going to challenge the status quo. In my opinion, Freddy's passive was actually buffed when he was promoted to Diamond. Unlike his comrade Nightmare Jason, his passive is now actually useful, and not only it is useful, but because of his passive, Freddy is probably the greatest damage dealer in MK Mobile by far. His special one can one-shot a fully maxed out diamond with maxed out hit points gear, and his special 2 can one-shot 2 diamonds at the same time. Yes, I'm talking about maxed out diamonds. This is how good his passive is. Now granted, his passive works only on one character and he needs to be in a horror team so that his passive can actually affect 2 characters. But let's face it guys, by the time you get Freddy you're definitely going to have his item at some nice fusion. So it is really okay, it doesn't matter whether he's a Nightmare team or not, he's going to be a total killing machine. And of course another thing that you need to keep in mind, unlike Circle of Shadow Lucane, who has 35% lethal chance, but only Faction Wars, Freddy has his bonus everywhere. It doesn't matter whether it's Battle Mode or Faction Wars, it will still work, and that's something great. So I promised you in the beginning this is going to be a very short part of the review. There is nothing else I can add. Once again, his special one can one-shot diamonds. That should be enough, right? So he's going to get 19 points for his passive. He is just a Netherlands character, so he gets 1 point for classes and 2 points for tagging attack. So we got to the point where we have to decide whether Nightmare Freddy Krueger is a good character. So let us take a look at the bigger picture. He has very good stats. Actually, he's one of the best in terms of stats. In addition, his special attacks are amazing. Not only he deals insane damage, once again, he can one-shot a maxed out diamond character with his special one. And when I'm saying maxed out diamond character, I mean maxed out diamond character with maxed out hit points gear. So that is really something. In addition, he has extremely good buff on his special 2 and debuff on his special 1 respectively. His passive is insanely good and his only drawback is his sloppy basic attacks. Apart from his basic attacks, Freddy is almost a perfect character. And when it comes to my subjective feelings, I really like him. I enjoy playing with him a lot. Especially when it comes to teams where all I have to do is tag him in and then kill everybody. I really like that. I am not a big fan of him in a Nightmare team. Not because that is a bad thing, but I prefer using other teams, but we are going to get to that later. So long story short, I'll be giving him 2.9 out of 3 subjective points. The reason why I'm not giving him 3 points is because I hate his minigame and his special 2. It is really annoying, guys. And if for some reason you feel the same and you hate his special 2 minigame, then there is an easy fix guys, just adapt your playstyle around his special 1, this is more than enough. Anyways, with my subjective points, Freddy is going to score 83.4 out of 102 possible and we can label him as an amazing character. He is, in my opinion, the best Nightmare character by far. Unlike Jason, who kind of relies on chance, there is no chance when you play Freddy. He simply destroys everything. And that is why he ranks 5th on our standings, just above MK11 Cabal and just below Hellspawn Scorpion. So Freddy Krueger, final verdict, amazing character. Okay guys, we got to the gameplay. Now, is Freddy Krueger a good opener? I'd rather say no. Reason being, he after all relies on his tagging attack so that he can land a clean special 1 and special 2. And of course, having him as an opener will deprive him of some nice damage dealer gear. So definitely, if you have somebody else in the team, pick him over Freddy when it comes to the starter. In terms of his best matchups, you know, Freddy is equally great against any character in the game. There isn't a character that he counters specifically, so I would say that he's good against anybody. However, he has some difficult matches. I've played a lot of games with Freddy guys, and in my opinion he's pretty bad against stunners and disablers such as, for example, Pankasi. and any other character basically who has frostbite. Freddy really suffers if he's frostbitten. And of course, another difficult matchup is Assassin Jade, because she can destroy his shield buff using her special one, and Freddy really doesn't like that. And when it comes to the best gear, guys, it all depends on your playstyle and whether you want to rely on his special 1 or his special 2. Should you take the path of his special 1, then this is the best build in my opinion. As a weapon, you have to give him Freddy's glove. Armor should be Living Dead, a very good armor for Freddy. Then Bloody Voodoo Doll and Rat Hammer as the 4th item. As you can see, I don't have any block breaking gear, even though Freddy's basic attacks are not great. And I don't use block breaker on Freddy because it literally takes 2 or 3 hits using this item set and the correct talents to get to another special one, and as you already know, his special one is deadly anyways, so it is perfectly fine. And if you are planning on using his special 2 most of the time, I'd recommend the same build, but instead of Bloody Voodoo Doll, you have to give him Soul Medallion. Once again, no block breaking equipment. All you have to do is spam his special 2, and even if your basic attacks don't connect, that's fine because you have shield buff. Okay guys, Captain Obvious here, and he's telling you that Freddy Krueger is especially useful in Nightmare team, but I guess 99% of you already know that. Joking aside, he is really good in the Nightmare team because if you have his item, then all of the enemies will be trapped in his Nightmare, which means that he's going to be dealing insane damage to every single character. But even outside of a Nightmare team, he's an unstoppable force. My favorite team for Freddy outside of a Nightmare team is Assassin Scarlet, Freddy Krueger and Vampiress Melina. A reason being, Vampiress Melina boosts the damage of all Netherrealm characters by 50% if the enemy is bleeding, and Assassin Scarlet inflict bleed on all 3 enemies in the beginning of the match for 15 seconds, and that's quite enough for Freddy to kill at least 2. So yeah, pretty good team. Very interesting team. And another team I feel it deserves to be mentioned is the Shield team. Incredibly good team. It consists of Nightmare Freddy, Cold War Scorpion and Circle of Shadow Kung Lao. I believe you all guess already why this team is called Shield team. Okay guys, Nightmare Freddy, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Please let me know in the comments. Once again, he scored 84.3, the highest score of all Nightmare characters, and we label him as an amazing character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen, and if you want to know which is the next on-demand review coming in next week, you can find the list in the description of the video. See you next time guys. Take care.
Excellent. Perfect.